Welcome everyone to the Pop and Wrestling Podcast with me, Coach 23, where we talk about wrestling, pop culture, and life in general. So earlier we talked about AEW's my suggestion to AEW to do things right. So that's episode 31. Now we're on episode 32, where we talk about another pop culture topic. This is a Hawkman wing. This one, the Spider Verse. So it's an interesting topic because right now there's a new Sony picture coming out, Craven the Hunter, starring Aaron Taylor Johnson. You know him as Kick Ass and Quicksilver in Avengers Age of Ultron. So now he's part of the Marvel, not really MCU, but Marvel's the Spider-Man or Spider-Verse for Sony of Sony movies. So, okay, what's the deal with Sony and Spider-Man? So why Spider-Man from Sony is different from Marvel Studios so Spider-Man. So there's not much difference, but here's the thing. Here's a quick history. You can Google it. You can watch it on YouTube or some other channels and whatnot. So like I said earlier in the 90s or the mid 90s, despite high comic book sales from X-Men, Spider-Man, Fantastic Four, among others, Marvel Comics or Marvel Entertainment at the time, they're in a financial crisis that they are almost, bankrupt. They're almost close in filing a bankruptcy, a Chapter 13, I believe, for businesses. So what they, I guess management back then, talked about, why not sell or, lease at least lease or sell our franchises, to movie executives or movie studios. So at the time, I guess, like I said, they were planning to sell the D or C and D listers, like the Avengers at the time, because they were considered as C listers or B listers at best. But most executives or most studios said, nope, we want the best ones. So Fox uh, purchased the X-Men franchise. All X-Men related things are there. They're also purchased from Fantastic Four, and to the lower heroes, it's like your Blade, yeah, your Blade, your Daredevil, Ghost Rider, I believe as well. Uh, no, not Ghost Rider. Yeah, Daredevil, Blade, Punisher, I believe as well. So they purchased those. And Sony or Columbia Pictures purchased the Spider-Man franchise. So when they purchased the Spider-Man franchise, they purchased everything related to Spider-Man. Unless compromise will happen. So around 1997, 1998, I believe 97, 98, 99. Well, 1999, I believe, if the first Spider-Man came out. So they have like an agreement, at least that what, every like 5 years, a Spider-Man movie has to be made. If not, the franchise will go back to Marvel, or the movie franchise goes back to Marvel. Marvel still owns the franchise of Spider-Man for comics, action figures, cartoons, but for movies, it's all for Sony. So they did that. First movie that came out was after years in developmental hell. A lot of directors want to be a director for Spider-Man. James Cameron was even one of them, but they weren't able to compromise. So the first Spider-Man movie came out. It's Spider-Man, Spider-Man, directed by Sam Raimi of Evil Dead fame. He used to do a lot of horror movies. Army of Darkness is my favorite Sam Raimi non-Spider-Man movie. Um, and he directed Spider-Man, starring Tobey Maguire and Kirsten Dunst as Mary Jane, Tobey Maguire as Spider-Man, Willem Dafoe or Dafoe, I believe it's Roland. It's pronounced as Dafoe according to him. To be Norman Osborn's Green Goblin and James Franco as Harry Osborn. So, and it was a success. It's according to movie buffs for an opening day. It's not even opening weekend, opening day. At the time, it held the record for like $114 million for one day. That's how big Spider-Man became. Because a lot of fans, when they saw the trailer, I mean, sometimes it's the trailer who do the trick, who does the trick for a movie. A good trailer meaning it's a great thing, and of course, people are clamoring for like a Spider-Man, live action Spider-Man, and they delivered. Then afterwards, after a few years, there were like controversies that Tobey Maguire was injured and has to be like replaced by Jake Gyllenhaal because Tobey Maguire hurt his back from like the movie Seabiscuit. But I believe he was able to talk with Sam Raimi for like better pay or a better better story as well. Spider-Man 2 came out, which arguably still one of the best Spider-Man movies out there, with Doctor Octopus, Alfred Molina as the villain, Doctor Octopus, and yeah, it dominated again, became popular. Then Spider-Man 3 came out. Uh, People kind of panned on Spider-Man 3. For me, it's okay. I wouldn't say it's a great movie. It's good. Yeah, it's a good, okay movie. So the third sequel for the second sequel, people are confused. First sequel should be part two. Second sequel should be part three. I don't know. It's just me. So the second sequel, Spider-Man 3, came out. I was actually excited because black costume Spider-Man and the possibility of Venom. So the villain at the time, they signed or cast Topher Grace as Eddie Brock, which is funny because Topher Grace is really like skinny. If you watch the 70s show, he is there. Eric Foreman. He's really thin. So they cast him as Eddie Brock. I guess the attitude is there, but the image is not. Acting wise, it was great as Eddie Brock as well. Don't get me wrong. Um, then James Franco came back as Harry Osborn to become the new Green Goblin. They called him the new Goblin for the action figures and stuff. And like I said, it was good, a decent movie. I was talking to my wife back then. She was still my girlfriend. I was like watching it, and I told her, you know what? If I'm writing this story or this movie, I would have stopped when Spider-Man or Peter Parker was like relinquishing the symbiote, the black costume. Then Eddie Brock, was the one who was chosen to wear it. And I told my wife, if they ended there, Spider-Man 4 will be a success because Venom will be there. They could create more stories about that. But alas, it's like after 15 minutes, they continued the story and ended with that. Eddie Brock dying, Harry Osborn dying, Mary Jane, and Peter Parker. If you don't haven't seen the movie, poor guys. Come on, it's been like 15 years or 20 years almost now to say it's spoilers. And Mary Jane and Spider-Man have, or Peter Parker are having relationship troubles. Ended there. Like okay, it's kind of weak. The ending was weak. Then afterwards, are they're planning not to rehire Sam Raimi, or if they're going to rehire Sam Raimi, Sony would interfere more on the studio's production or the movie's production. So I believe they tried to hire John Malkovich to play the Vulture, and Anne Hathaway. It's either Black Cat or also a version of the Vulture. And yeah, fans online didn't like it. I even didn't like it. Like I like Anne Hathaway. I love Anne Hathaway. My wife knows that. But yeah, it doesn't work. It will not work. So after a few years, I believe 4 or 5 years, Sony reinvented Spider-Man, and this time it's more as well connected to like the Ultimate Universe I've discussed a few episodes back. A more grounded approach about Spider-Man, so even his personality. They signed British actor Andrew Garfield to play Spider-Man, and they hired Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy. They hired and cast Rice Ilfan as Kurt Connors, the Lizard. So the Lizard was the first villain for the new Spider-Man franchise movie, The Amazing Spider-Man. It was good. It was great. Um, Among the three, I could say yeah. For me, it's always a tie between Tom Holland and Andrew Garfield. The thing is, Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, Tobey Maguire, they're all great Spider-Mans in their own right. And you have to see Spider-Man No Way Home to distinguish that they are different characters. No one can say, not even me, that Andrew Garfield is better than Tobey Maguire or Tobey Maguire is better than Tom Holland or Tom Holland's better than Andrew Garfield. No, they're equal in their they're all great. Equally great for the role of Spider-Man. They have different approaches in portraying Peter Parker or Spider-Man. So yeah, that's it. So and Amazing Spider-Man was great, the first one. It was a mild success compared to the first three Spider-Man movies, and but they created a sequel, Amazing Spider-Man 2, with still Andrew Garfield as Spider-Man, Emma Stone as Gwen Stacy, and now they hired Jamie Foxx to play Electro, and I forgot Dane Keehan, I believe. But they played. They also hired a new Harry Osborn, and Harry Osborn or Green Goblin was there for like 15 minutes or something, until you know, not really killing him off, putting him in jail. But the thing is, afterwards, they thought it was okay. To be fair, Amazing Spider-Man 2 stories a little bit okay. I actually like it better, even the story and the movie itself compared to the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. Amazing Spider-Man 1 has like decent or they have great scenes or they have like great scenes, but it's not an overly great overall movie. I consider Spider-Man 2 a little bit tad better than the first Amazing Spider-Man. Um, One of my favorite scenes from the first Amazing Spider-Man movie was the Flash Thompson Peter Parker scene in the locker when Peter Parker, raised Flash in the lockers, and they were like, "I know, I'm sorry, I get it." I was like moved from that scene. The one from what Peter Parker was like jumping to go to Oscorp. That's a great scene as well. The swinging scenes from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man is actually better than Tobey Maguire's. To be honest, trust me. Uh, then afterwards, yeah, they're planning for like a Sinister Six movie, or at least an Amazing Spider-Man 3 movie versus Spider-Man versus Sinister Six. But it didn't happen because the Amazing Spider-Man 2 didn't really did well in the box office. So that was the time that Spider-Man was a little bit dormant in terms of um, doing movies. Then they were almost nearing the contract clause of if you not be making a Spider-Man movie at this specific date, or production hasn't been met at this specific date, franchise of Spider-Man goes back to Marvel. Of course, Marvel Studio is salivating of the Spider-Man coming back to them, but that this was in between the time that they contacted each other. It's like Sony asking for or extending an olive branch to Marvel Studios that what, let's do a compromise. You are doing well with your MCU. What if we add Spider-Man there? So I believe most of the contract state, based on my observation, is that Marvel Studio does the hard work for Spider-Man, but Sony will just have a minor say at least, or a major say, but it's more of what, still do whatever you want. We'll be earning our keep, earning our money. So they compromise. We'll give you Spider-Man as long as you do some things that we have to do. One example of that is, why are they villains or Sony creating the movies about Spider-Man villains? Venom, Carnage, Morbius, who else? Madam Web, although he's an ally. Uh, and now Craven the Hunter coming out this month or later, no, next month, December. So why are they making this, movies about Spider-Man villains? It's because Sony still owns the Spider-Man franchise. And one of the contracts that they have with Marvel Studios, especially when they did like a three feature Spider-Man movies, Homecoming, Far From Home, No Way Home, one of the contracts there is that you cannot use villains that were are slated to use in the future movies and the movies that we've used. So, who are the Spider-Man villains? Green Goblin, Doctor Octopus, Venom. So that's why if you notice, Spider-Man: Homecoming, the first villain was Vulture. The Vulture. Michael Keaton played an awesome job playing the Vulture. Tom Holland, I announce him. Everyone knows who Tom Holland now. He is a great Spider-Man as well. Great Peter Parker. Um, so they used Vulture in Homecoming. They used Mysterio. Jake Gyllenhaal played Mysterio, which is ironically he was supposed to play Spider-Man in Spider-Man 2 when Tobey Maguire got hurt. Then they used Mysterio. Then at No Way Home they used all the villains that Spider-Man movies made. Like I said, Green Goblin, Doctor Octopus, Sandman. Who else? Electro, the Lizard. They use all the villains that they used. So compromise was already met. And I believe the initial thing or initial story about that, Marvel's Sony can still do their own Spider-Man movies, but I think they're still restricting themselves. They want still Tom Holland to play, but Tom Holland says, you know what, I'm loyal to Marvel Studios. I'm loyal to the Spider-Man character, but I'm also loyal to Marvel Studios. That I believe they tried to contact him. I mean, there was like a little bit of discourse between Marvel Studios and Sony because I believe after No Way Home, it's the end of the contract. You can't use Spider-Man anymore unless we ask you to or told you guys to. So there's a little bit discourse until right now they made it like an agreement that yeah, we can still do a Spider-Man movie for you. And I believe as per Tom Holland, they'll be doing a Spider-Man movie or shooting a Spider-Man movie next year. I believe to come out to 2026 now. So and Sony of course is still doing their own thing about Spider-Man. They're doing villain movies. Venom. Tom Hardy's excellent as Venom, if you ask me. Uh, People say critics. I hate critics. I may critic something, but I don't consider myself a critic. Call me a hypocrite or whatnot. I don't consider myself a critic. I criticize, sure, but I don't know anything about this. But for me, Tom Hardy is an excellent Venom, and most of the Venom movies, I haven't seen the Last Dance. I'm waiting for it to come out digitally so I can have it. But I'm I'm excited to have that. I like the Venom movies. Venom, Let There Be Carnage. Morbius was okay. Jared Leto was great as Morbius. I haven't seen Madam Web yet. I'm looking also forward for Kraven the Hunter. And those are Spider-Man villains. And also they're like Sony said that they can do their own Spider-Man movies, and they have been doing it, but it's not in a live action form. Across the Spider-Verse movie, Miles Morales, and those two animation, Into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse, were awesome Spider-Man movies. And I'm right now I believe they're in pass in terms of or in passe or whatever. And Beyond the Spider-Verse, the third part, the last part of the Spider-Verse. I'm looking forward to it, but they don't have plans anything yet right now or concrete plans, so we don't know. And like I said, they're doing villains, and also news flash for some niche audience or Spider-Man fans, they'll be doing Spider-Man Noir for Prime Video. Nicolas Cage is doing a live-action Spider-Man Spider-Man series, Spider-Man Noir. If who is Spider-Man Noir? Go watch Spider-Verse. The first one, Into the Spider-Verse. He's the Black Spider-Man, the one with the hat and the coat. and he's doing a live version of it, and I'm also excited. I believe it'll be coming out next year, so looking forward to it. So that's it. That's actually a brief story about the history of Spider-Man and the Spider-Verse and Marvel Studio, history, because as I consider No Way Home as like the Avengers Endgame for Spider-Man. You you brought everything there, and I right now I believe most rumors for Spider-Man 4 for next year. There are rumors that it's either a grounded story for Spider-Man, maybe like similar with Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man. And there are rumors right now that after The Last Dance, King in Black will be, the Black Null. If you have seen the Last Dance, the the god of the symbiotes, Null, that's Knull. He's a possible villain for Spider-Man. There's also that possibility that Spider-Man, Tom Holland, might be getting the black costume, because at the end of it wasn't yeah at the end of No Way Home, Tom Hardy went from the MCU universe, the 616 universe, and go back to the Sonyverse, and he left a piece of the suit there, of the symbiote there. So I'm looking forward to those Spider-Man movies. I'm looking forward to the franchises. Like I said, if you're a consumer fan, don't treat yourself as like I'm not going to watch it. Give them a chance. Venom actually the Venom trilogy did well a lot in the box office despite critics banding them. Yeah, you have your Morbius, you have your Madam Web. Craven the Hunter will probably be like that as well. But I'm looking forward for Craven the Hunter. I think it's a badass movie. I've seen the trailer. I like Aaron Taylor Johnson. I like him in Kicked Ass. I liked him in no, it wasn't in Tenet. It was Robert Pattinson. I liked him as Quicksilver. I liked him in Bullet Train. So give that movie a chance. Don't say that just because. Here's another suggestion for the casual audience. Just because you read something bad in the internet about reviews and you will not give a movie a chance. That's a stupid thing to do. I know it's your right, but the thing is you're not giving them a chance. People are panning Moana 2. I know it's quite diverse because next week me and my daughters will be watching Moana 2. That's my date with them. I have a date with them because they want to watch Moana 2, and I promise it to them. So we're going to watch Moana 2. And I've read the plot. I haven't seen. I just seen the trailers. They said, movie review said Moana 2 will, is crap. Nah, I'm looking forward to it. Maybe I'm not expecting that much for Moana 2, because they like announced Moana 2 like, earlier this year that Moana 2 will be coming out. But they're already planning for like Moana 3 and the Moana live action next year. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm giving it a chance because as a consumer, that's the one thing I can help these companies and the things that I wished for when I was a kid to happen. So yeah, that's it. Give them a chance. Give them a chance to entertain you. This because even a movie suck, there's still a bit of there may be one, two, three, four, five segments of the movie that will make you laugh. You will make you cry. It will make you said that damn this entertained me. So yeah, this is just me giving a suggestion. It's a suggestion day. Huh. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, listening at the here at the Pop and Wrestling Podcast with the Spider-Man topic for the Spider-Verse, Sonyverse, Marvel Studio Verse. For Spider-Man, looking forward to the movies. Enjoy. Enjoy the weekend. I know it's not a long weekend because tomorrow is Bonifacio Day here, and it's not tomorrow. It's not today. It's tomorrow's. They didn't change it. Come on, December is full of holidays for some people. I have a holiday yesterday because of the Thanksgiving. I didn't have work last night, so yeah, good for me. Kind of rested. I slept for like a baby. I didn't know what's happening. So yeah, it's a great. I was a bit recharged. But yeah, thank you guys for watching the Pop and Wrestling Podcast with me, Coach 23. Before we end that, it's Thanksgiving, so let's say what I'm thankful or I'm thankful for. So one, I'm thankful for my wife who is always there with me. I'm thankful for with my family, my kids, my two sons and my two daughters for keeping me both sane and insane at the same time. I'm thankful for my health. I'm thankful for my mother, aside from giving birth to me, has always been there for with me since the beginning. I couldn't ask for a better mother. For me, she's the best. Even my friends love her, and there were times that she loves my friends more than me. I'm thankful for my siblings, my brother and my sister. Despite the anguish, I used to do a lot of wrestling moves on my sister and my brother. Sharpshooters, ankle locks, sleeper holds, attitude adjustment, power bombs. I used to do that to them. I'm thankful for them for being great siblings. My sister even, especially my sister. Well, both of them. But yeah, my sister was always like my, I wouldn't say partner in crime because she always, nags at me, but she's the best as well. Uh, Thankful when my with my dad, my pops, who celebrated his birthday a couple of weeks ago. He turned 70. Hopefully, he's still healthy. He is healthy wise, healthy-ish. And a lot of my, a lot of my people I know tells that your dad looks like, Teresa Cruz the third. And yeah, he looks like Teresa Cruz the third. Happy birthday, belated happy birthday, pops, papa. He treated me as his own. He's my stepdad, and but he treated me as his own. He treated my kids as his own grandchildren. I'm thankful for him. And yeah, I'm also thankful for I'm thankful for you guys who are watching this podcast. I have more than 800 views now for 30 episodes. That's yesterday, and now we have 31 and 32 now. I'm very thankful because, like I said, when I did this podcast, I don't know what to expect. I'm expecting much worse than what I'm having right now, and I'm not saying it's worse. I'm even saying it's great. I'm not expecting it. It's actually exceeding my expectations. Even my daydream, of course, of hopefully I can get to that 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 viewers or views for one episode. Yeah, that's the daydream. That's the dream. But I'm like, I know it's achievable, but not today, not tomorrow, not next month, not next year even. But I know it's possible that be reaching that if ever, as long as you spread the word. But the views I'm getting, 800 for like 30 episodes, is for me astounding. I was like even expecting that I'd be getting like 100, 200 for 30 episodes. 800 is really like a mind blown number for me. Subscriber growing every week. Now I have 17. I started with like one. It all started with one, but 17 for like 2 months. I'm okay with that. I'm thankful for those people who are commenting, whether you're a Filipino wrestling fan, to us the Snyderverse comment. I agree, disagree with you at the same time. And another fan, shout out to Star Wars fan 00 or 69.3 for the encouraging words of me keeping this up. Thank you. I am grateful with you guys. I'm thankful for you guys. And lastly, of course, I am not a religious person. I'm a spiritual one, but I still believe in God. I'm thankful with God in giving me this, everything that I'm thankful for, starting with my family and my wife. To everyone, thank you. So yeah, I hope you guys are also thankful of what's happening in your life. If you guys are having a bad time, just think of another person that are doing much worse, having them in their life, and don't wish for them to have that. They might be needing some care. They might be needing some help. They might be needing an ear to listen. But yeah, be good, be kind always. This is not the end of this podcast or ever. I'm still doing an episode tomorrow for SmackDown review and possibly another podcast about pop culture. Possibly, I don't know. Probably tomorrow will be SmackDown and War Games prediction. But yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate everything. Be thankful, be grateful, be kind, love everyone, love anyone. And yeah, thank you for watching the Pop and Wrestling Podcast with me, Coach 23, where we talk about pro wrestling, pop culture, and life in general. Thank you guys, and have a great weekend.